Oh, 3:49 this is.
Opening bounce at Adelaide Oval and a sensation before the game. Rick Davies is lined up at full forward for South Adelaide after not being named in the side on Thursday night. Up goes Christie, gets the tap down, comes to Smith. He can't gather it in the ball. Bursting through, however, was Delina. His kicks forward, and as he found Walk, he has. Oh, it was a fine mark by Walk early in the game. Ball was dry. Good fly from behind, and he grabbed in a good mark. Possibly too far out to score. Certainly be a boost to the Blues if he can score. Kicks on its way. It's a good one too. Distance is long. The accuracy is not quite there. It's punched away well from behind. Now Wilmot tackled very, very strongly. Hewitt, Bennett in fact it was with the tackle. Push in the back. And now Ian Wilmot with an opportunity of posting Sturt's first goal.
That's a great opening, David. Last time we were at Adelaide Oval, we saw young David Walk playing out of a forward pocket, and he posted 7 goals. So another impressive start to the youngster. Kick on its way by Wilmot, offline. That's a point, and that's the opening score for the game. And what is a most crucial game at Adelaide Oval. Sturt battling to stay in the 5, and South Adelaide desperate to get off the bottom.
Sturt, of course, Kim, have only won 2 out of their last 6 games, and South Adelaide have lost their last 6 straight, so crucial game for both sides to get back on the winning list. Dickinson tackled with the ball, holding the ball, says the umpire. It's going to Frank Spiel. He's at right half forward, too far out to score, the big fellow. Puts in a long drop punt kick forward, it goes. Wilmot's there underneath it. There's been a free kick picked out. We can't see who it's going to. It's Brooksby. Brooksby will play on from the back line and handball out to the running player in Butler.
Butler's always there to lend support. Fine pass out to Martin. Paul Martin has a lot of pace. Should be a great battle out there with Calderlina today. It's a long kick, and it's been well marked by Menzel. Menzel lining up at centre-half back today. Earlier in the season, we saw him in the full forward position. His kick's long. Snabikla underneath it, coming back from a 2-week suspension. Players dive on top. Snabikla back in there for a second chance. Neither side could win possession, so umpire Ross Campbell will have to bounce.
Sneebickler's going to be an important player today, Kim, for South Adelaide.
Certainly will, David. Reynolds in there for the ruck. Ball comes out in the direction of Rodney Campbell. Hard body work there. No infringement. The ball goes over the line. 2 minutes into this first quarter. Throw in the right forward pocket for the Panthers.
Sneebickler playing at centre-half forward today, and I seem to think that's his best position. Rick Davies, there he is. His back still worrying, but I think the soft ground's an advantage for him today. Taps the ball towards Darryl Hewitt, but off hands and across the line yet again. And Kim, I can't help but think that South Adelaide look a lot better with John Sneebickler at centre-half forward.
Oh, for sure. He's a class act, Dave. There's no doubt about that. Have a look at this. Reynolds opposed to Davies, the master against the apprentice. Ball comes to ground. Sturt trying to burrow the ball out. Darrington there had a great game last week.
Darrington, of course, first rover today with Neil Craig being omitted prior to the game. I believe suspect ribs have forced him out of the game. Winter has come into the back pocket. He'll be looking for a good game today. Davies from behind. Down it comes to Winter, the player we were talking about. Davies off the ground now, Moschini. Handball comes out wide. Whittlesey, he's playing in the centre, Whittlesey. Long kick forward. It's a good kick too towards centre-half forward. Up went Spiel. He's playing at centre-half forward. Now Butler off to Johns. South Adelaide's defensive work is very strong. And Johns' kick is across the line. And Frank Spiel too at centre-half forward is going to give the Double Blues some lift today, Kim.
It's an interesting move, David. Of course, it's a move that was forced upon them with the injury to Robert Plum. Of course, Robert Plum broke his thumb. He was in superb touch at centre-half forward position. Troy, long kick out. Moschini from behind, got the fist away. Comes off hands, taken well by Eddie. He was at full forward last week. The kick comes in long. It's not well directed. The back of the pack was Warner. It's been a free kick, David. I couldn't pick that up.
Well, it's been called for holding the man on. It's Rodney Campbell with the free kick, Kim. It appeared to be against Warner. Hewitt it is, in fact. It comes out with the ball. Rodney Campbell was looking for it. Darryl Hewitt now, an opportunity of scoring first blood for the Panthers. Kicks on its way, that's true. Experience shows, that's his first. South Adelaide, 1 goal straight. Trail Sturt, 1 goal 1.
We see in replay here as Hewitt, he appeared to be tripped. The free kick was given for a legging. Unfortunately, I couldn't pick that up in the first instance, as we have one of these lovely pylons here at Adelaide Oval in the grandstand, which obscured my view. Back in the centre. Game opening up at a great pace.
You might call Sturt as having 1 goal won. They are, in fact, only 1 point. Bounce comes from umpire Neville Thorpe. It's a good one, too. Straight up and down. Reynolds got the tap down. Only goes as far as Troy. He's tackled from behind. In fact, he's tackled too high and will receive a free kick. Darren Troy, of course, rumoured to be looking to go back to Geelong next year. Been a vital cog in the Panther machine. His kick is forward. Underneath that one, Schneebichler and Campbell. Off hands Reynolds it was. Naily coming through was grabbed and will receive a free kick. He wastes no time. Play on the young rover. Forward he goes. Eddie's there. He's hit high. The free kick's on. Clumsy work by the Sturt defence. Eddie was clear. Todd Viney was the infringing player. Took a swipe at Eddie. Collected him. And now from point-blank range, Max Eddie an opportunity of scoring the Panthers' second goal. Kick number 2 for Eddie. Right in front. Distance won't be a problem. Neither's the accuracy. That's right through the middle. 2 goals for the Panthers. They race away to 2 goals straight, leading the Double Blues 1 point.
Well, Max Eddie lined up at full forward last week against North Adelaide. We see here he got underneath that one. It was a clumsy tackle. It was desperate work by the Sturt defender, but unfortunately he infringed and Max Eddie couldn't miss from there. As I said, he started off full forward last week, and whilst not getting a lot of goals, in fact, he kicked 1-3. He looked the goods. He led very well.
Yes, they certainly need a player firing up forward. Hopefully Rick Davies can find something for them today. Reynolds with the ball comes to ground. Moschini is pushed in the back. No free kick, says the umpire. And now a ball up. Well, Kim, there was a blatant push there on Moschini. Came through the forearm, pushed him forward, but the umpire obviously didn't see it. Now another ball up. Christie, Max Eddie over the top, off the Kapler. Now Derrington with the quick handball backwards. He's conceding ground. It's desperate play out there as players are tackling and going in very heavy. Now Derrington gets the handball out. Darren Kapler was tackled high and will receive a free kick. Kapler drives forward underneath that one. Schneebichler has taken a good mark. Schneebichler read the ball better and used his body well. Dropped back on the ball and grabbed it in. Now John Schneebichler from 25 metres out, an opportunity of scoring his first goal. And Kim G, if he scores this, the Double Blues will be in trouble.
Well, it's a great start to the Panthers. There's no real breeze here at Adelaide Oval today. Just South Adelaide using the ball a lot better. Schneebichler's kick on its way. It's split to centre. That's a great goal. 3 quick goals to the Panthers. And they certainly mean business today.
Yes, 3 goals in the first 7 minutes of the game. Certainly a good start. It's not one that the Double Blues were looking for. Kapler's kick was well dispatched. His immaculate disposal certainly is a real treat to watch. Schneebichler, of course, made no mistake. That was his first. And at the 7-minute mark of the first term, it's the Panthers by 17 points.
Back in the centre. It'd be Reynolds opposed to Christie again. Would not be surprised if Merv Kane makes a move in the ruck very shortly. Oh, Troy cop one high. Nicknamed the Butcher down Panther way. Of course, that is his trade.
15-metre penalty, Kim. It's against Painter.
Well, the Blues a little bit rattled. Troy, kick number 3 already. It's a long one. Davies, Schneebichler. Free kick will go the way of Peter Reid.
I've got to give Neville Thorpe credit for that. He was in exactly the right position to see that infringement.
He's a good umpire. Plenty of body work there. This time it's a play on call. Handball comes out long. Players now running. Chance for Delina. He slips over at the crucial moment. In comes David Kapler. Well supported by Martin. Martin's kicked the centre-half forward. Schneebichler underneath that one. Oh, Eddie's through the pack. Here's a chance over to Hewitt. Could have handballed back one way, then the other. Kicks on its way. Looks good. Umpire said it's great. Another goal. 4 goals to the Panthers, and they're on fire.
Well, on fire they certainly are. Daryl Hewitt chanced his arm on that occasion. He kicked 5 goals, 1 last week. And certainly in the form he's in this first term, he's very dangerous. Eddie had the sit. Daryl Hewitt chanced his arm, threaded his way through, lined up the goals, could have handballed off to Eddie, but the kick was true, and that's good play by the South forward, and that's given them a great start.
Certainly is, David. That's a brilliant start. 4 straight goals. Sturt, 1 point. Big Reynolds, but it's Spiel with a big tap. Painter in there. Christie backs up again. He's done it well for a big fella. High kick. Underneath that is a fine mark by Wayne Kavanagh. South Adelaide doing all the attacking. Sturt go wide looking for Reynolds. Couldn't take the mark. In there's Martin. He was well tackled by Viney. Painter picks up the crumbs. Cool as a cucumber is John Painter. Never ruffled. And that's a fine mark to Brenton Honor.
Got a bit of extra treatment too, Kim. Now settles. Plays on. Round the man on the mark. Drives towards centre wing. Looking for Dickinson. Dickinson flies from behind. Grabs the mark. 1 bite, 2 bites. It's his. David Dickinson, of course, recruited to South Adelaide from Norwood. Consolidated a position at centre wing for the Panthers. Forward he goes to Rodney Campbell. Campbell in fine form last week. Very impressed when he came onto the Oval. Played very well. Pick number 3 for him. Forward it goes. Bickler infringed. Push in the back went against him. It looks like David Reynolds with the free kick. Might have been winded, David Reynolds. Now decides to handball off. Whittlesey playing in centre. Kicks forward. It's not a good kick, however, and it's going to bounce wide. Coming through is Christie, tackled strongly. Gets the handball away to Dickinson. He ducks under a tackle. Now butters up with a handball out to Johns. Scrappy play at centre wing as the ball goes out of play. Johns and Smith having a little nudge at each other, and now it's Gary Johns with the free kick. Well, a little bit of gamesmanship from Daryl Smith. The umpire saw it. Neville thought was right on the spot. And Johns has the free kick.
This is a costly mistake, though, David. It gives South Adelaide another opportunity. There it is. Raised the forearm, not necessary, and he was penalised for it. Campbell in there hard. As David mentioned before, he was a good player last week, Campbell, off his half-forward flank. Kicked 2 very fine goals. He needs a try, there's no doubt about that. Bickler bodies out Reynolds, gets a big thump away Moschini. Whittlesey and Nick. Slick handball over to Painter. Painter in turn over to Warner. Warner playing his first game, the Swan Hill recruit. Kicks out wide. Martin there. Back towards Butler, long way down from his back pocket. Always lending support, reads the game superbly. Out towards Eddie, Kapler there. Back to Nailey, look at him go. He's on tucked away in the pocket, tries to straighten it. That's a great kick out to Bickler, just over his head. Nearly paid off, and Sturt out of trouble.
Well, out of trouble they were. It was danger. Had South Adelaide scored another goal, they would have been in real trouble, the double boost. Johns gets a tap forward. Kavanagh off to Smith. They're running, and running very well. Coming through was Kim Russell. Playing at centre wing today. Forward it goes. Wilmot in front. Brooksby at the back. But coming around the back as cool as you like was Michael Bennett. Onto the left foot he goes. Dickinson opposed to Hogarth. And the ball is out of play. Paul Hogarth, of course, one of the Mildura players. Been a fine recruit for the club. David Dickinson also for the Panthers. It's been an infringement in ruck. It'll go to Spiel. Holding the arm. It's against Christie. Frank Spiel. Too far out to score, Frank. But the Double Blues need to move forward quickly. Too much time spent there. Kick number 2. Now out on the lead. It looks like Walk. He's underneath it, but the ball's been punched clear from him. And now Butler from the back line.
Shane Butler sidestepped well. Great pass out to Troy. He was hit hard and high by Smith. So Daryl Smith giving away another free kick. I can assure you of one thing about Darren Troy. He'll stand his ground. Courageous as they come, and talking of courage, that was a fine mark to Michael Bennett.
It's a Neil Curley mark, Kim.
He loves them, doesn't he? South Adelaide play on quickly through the agency of Christie. Pushes out one wide to Bickler. He's covering plenty of ground up forward. He's certainly giving Reid the run around. Would be about 45 metres out. Fairly acute angle. Tucked away on the scoreboard side. John Bickler taking plenty of time, coming up for his second kick. He's already kicked 1 goal. Came in very close to the man on the marker. What an incredible kick! It's a goal! 5 goals straight to South Adelaide. They're on 30 points, leading Sturt by 29 points.
Well, we called it earlier. John Bickler has certainly given the Panthers something to kick to at centre-half forward. 2 goals. He's also had 2 marks and only 2 kicks, so certainly 100% successful at centre-half forward. Very, very confident, Bickler, supremely confident, and from 45 metres out on a difficult angle, straight through the middle.
Well, David, they can't get it out of the centre. That's where the trouble is. Once again, it's Christie, taken by Whittlesey, playing in the middle. Out towards Payne. Oh, did that superbly. Through comes Derrington. Here's a chance. Short pass to Wilmot. That's more direct football and a far more confident Sturt unit.
Well, you called it well, Kim. They haven't been able to get the ball out of the centre. On that occasion, they did. And now Wilmot with an opportunity to convert.
Ian Wilmot kicked 6 goals last week. Already has a point. It's his second kick for the game. And his second point for the game. So nothing going right for the Blues. And as we said before, this is a very crucial game.
Yes, well, 2 wins out of the last 6 games for Sturt when they were looking like likely finalists. They've dropped from 4th. They're now 7th. So the kick comes back into play. Underneath that was Michael Bennett. Now back it comes. Todd Viney lines up the goals. He's a long way out. Wilmot's dropping back. He may get a hand to it. He doesn't, in fact. Now gathers the ball in. Handball's back. Hogarth's there. Taps the ball out wide to Russell. Dickinson taps the ball out in front of him. Now Martin covering some ground. Gets the handball out. Very scrappy play. Johns was hit. And now has a free kick. In fact, it's Martin with the free kick. Back pocket for the Panthers. Playing on a wing, kick number 3. Now decides to go short across goals. It's not dangerous, however. Brooksby gathers the ball in, kicks it wide. Out looking towards Nailey. Nailey and Derrington. Clever play by Nailey. He'll have a bounce, but it's too slippery to really do that today, Mark. Now the kick goes forward. Looking for Campbell. He's on the lead. Punched away well by Kavanagh. And the ball will go out of bounds and out of play. Top action coming to you on Sevens Sport.
Certainly is, David, and that could prove one of the interesting duels of the day. Nailey and Derrington, the 2 17s. Plenty of experience. Mr. Bickler, Reynolds, front possession. Ball came down towards David Kapler. Sturt get out of trouble temporarily. That kick goes straight to Darren Troy. Play on the call, that's the advantage, and that's a great decision. Michael Bennett spears out a pass over the head of Davies. Eddie in there with a chance. Oh, slick handball. Hewitt around one corner and the other goal. Oh, great play. That was brilliant. And Darryl Hewitt can thank Max Eddy for that. He got that handball back brilliantly. But I thought Hewitt was in trouble, but he was equal to the occasion. Sidestepped round an opponent and snapped through his second goal.
Actually, it was his third, Kim, and he's on fire.
And South Adelaide are on 6 goals, 36 points. Sturt just 2 points.
Well, he's kicked 3 goals from 3 kicks, Hewitt, and he looks supremely confident up forward. Certainly doing it well. The ball goes to ground. Bounces on. Sturt need to get it out of the centre. Perhaps this time they can through Painter. It's a long kick forward. Wilmot's on the lead. He can't gather it in off the short hop. Play on, says the umpire. Now Spiel, handballs over the top. No one in attendance for the double Blues, however. Back to Wilmot, on the left foot he goes. He was tackled as he kicked it. Now the ball into the goal square, but who's there? The ever-reliable defender in Shane Butler. Butler now over the top. Johns off to Rodney Campbell. Appears to be ruck roving. The kick is now wide to Dickinson. He's up. Punched away well from him by Russell. And the ball is out of play.
Just talking at Dickinson, David, happens a lot of times when a player can change a club, and often, well, saying in football is that they grow an extra leg, but gee, he's been a real contributor for South Adelaide since changing from Nord. He had 26 possessions last week, and quite often when a player gets that second opportunity, he makes the most of it.
Yes, Dickinson has, and I think also Max Eddy, another recruit that came to South Adelaide from the Norwood club, certainly displaying his talents today. Now ball up. Neville Thorpe with the ball. We've played 18.5 minutes into the first term at Adelaide Oval. Conditions slightly heavy. The sun just coming out. The handball came from Johns to Darren Kapler. He evades the tackle. Onto the right foot he goes. Todd Viney's underneath that one. He should mark. Doesn't, however. Now onto the left foot he goes. Derrington. Punched away well from him by Butler. Comes to Whittlesey. Now off to Underwood on the left foot kick. It goes forward. That's right through the middle. Andrew Underwood's first. In fact, that's Sturt's first goal for the game at the 19-minute mark of the first term, and Sturt now advanced to 1 goal, 8 points, trailing the Panthers 6 goals straight.
Well, that goal will give them some confidence, David, but they've got plenty of work to do. Ball came down the direction of Derrington. He thumped it forward towards Whittlesey. Underwood, very calm in a crisis situation there, popped it through with his left boot. And let's see if the Double Blues can go on with it from here.
They certainly need a few more, the Double Blues. They now trail by 28 points. They'll need to get a move on. Painter off the ground cleverly. It only goes as far as Johns, however. He's playing well at half-back. His kick, however, is not a good one. It's looking for Darren Kapler. Tackle was applied there on Whittlesey and a push in the back. Whittlesey wasting no time. He needs to get them moving. Spiel up, punched away strongly from him. Ball comes to ground. Dickinson's first there. So too Hogarth. The tackle's applied. Handball comes out to walk. He lines up the goals. The kick's on its way. Butler's dropping back. And Butler is there yet again. Now Darrington, however. Butler couldn't force it across the line. Clever work. Darrington handballs out. Wilmot over to Underwood. Can he score his second? He lines him up. It's on its way, but just offline and through for 1 point. Well, they would have needed that, the Double Blues. The goal there would have been very handy.
Certainly would have. Full credit to Jim Darrington then. Did extremely well to keep the ball in play. Unfortunately, Andrew Underwood couldn't finish it off with another goal. Brooksby appeared to run right over the line when he kicked that ball. Whittlesey up high, Christie front position. Ball comes out quickly to Troy and turn over to Darren Kapler. Darren Kapler to brother David. Panthers on the run again. He's got time to steady, has one bounce. Draws the player, handball over to Nayley. Nayley back to Snevikler over the head. Hewitt in with another chance. One way, then the other. This time he handballs. Back to Darren Kapler. Over to brother David again. A lot of hard work, but they've achieved the required result. They have possession and they're within scoring distance.
Well, you called it well, Kim. They had possession, but gee, they mucked around.
David Kapler, kick number 2, has split the centre. And I don't think the Panthers are going to kick a point today. That's their 7th straight goal. And they lead Sturt on 139 points.
Well, I like your call, Kim. They retained possession, but gee, the mucking around certainly was horrific. Young Panther supporter showing his pleasure there, and so he should be. Very, very happy. South Adelaide haven't done anything wrong. Rick Davies, of course, may possibly be playing his last game against his old club.
I would think so, David. Game 349 for Rick Davies, an incredible achievement. Reynolds, Christie with the tap, down to Campbell. Great handball back to David Kapler. His kick out the direction of Nayley, too much pace for Kavanagh, over to Darren Kapler. Kicks on its way. I think they've bottled another one. Oh, they have. 9 goals straight. What a freak performance by South Adelaide. Sturt, who I say, haven't got an answer. And I, for one, think that Spill has to come into the ruck because they've got to get the ball out of the centre, David.
Yes, they do, Kim. I certainly agree with that, and it's about time. Reynolds is certainly a fine up-and-coming ruckman, but no answer today. South Adelaide have got the ball almost every time out of the centre, and the Double Blues have paid the penalty. I don't think they can afford to leave Spiel at centre-half forward any longer.
I agree with you 100%. Either that or they've at least got to go man-to-man in the centre and stop South Adelaide taking this ball out. It's Christie again, out the direction of Campbell. Panthers on the run. A little bit slow, Campbell. He's been pinged for holding the ball. But gee, if he hadn't been caught then, it could have been another opportunity to the Panthers. Daly's come from behind the mark. You can't do that. So he'll be penalised 15 metres. Painter always positions the ball beautifully. The minute you say that, they let you down.
Well, Kim, I think Painter's been probably one of their few very good players for Sturt. He's already had 3 or 4 kicks and a couple of handballs, and he'd be one of the few players who can hold their head up in the Sturt side at the moment. Martin's kick is wide. Moskini's there, but Darren Kapler from in front has taken a strong mark. A little nudge in the back. You've got to watch those. Kick number 5 for Kapler. Centre, he goes to Troy. Troy's marked. Coming up also for kick number 5. Their centre line and the ruck roving division, South Adelaide, is well on top. Now Dickinson, another centre line player. He's drifted down forward. They're certainly well on top across centre. Dickinson, need to be a good kick to goal from here. It is a good kick. It's a long one. It's dropping into the goal square. Davies is there. He's up. He's marked. Well, the Panthers can't do any wrong. Rick Davies has up and marked in behind Mark Warner, showing his experience, and now with a check side kick, I'm sure he'll goal it. They haven't done anything wrong, the Panthers. 8 goals straight they've got. He's hit the post. Well, he's broken the sequence. And even then, he had to hit the post to do it. 8 goals, 1, the Panthers. Lead Sturt, 1 goal, 3. just into time on in the first term at Adelaide Oval, and top action coming to you on 7 Sport.
Certainly is, and Rick Davies brought a little Bronx cheer from the crowd as he registered their first point. Christie couldn't take the mark. Bill tried to knock the ball off the ground. I would say he's been brought onto the ball. Troy, been a dynamo in the middle, kicks up high. Darren Kapler out there, post to Moschini. Darren Kapler did it well, couldn't take the mark. Now it's Moschini. Handball to Viney, he's under pressure. Managed to get that one away quickly to Russell. Russell spears out a pass. Wilmot, front position. Had a couple of yards on Brooksby, and that was enough to complete that mark.
Well, I called Painter as one of Sturt's few winners, but I think Wilmot has certainly had the better of Brooksby up forward. This will be kick number 4 for him, and 2 of them should certainly have been goals. Kicks on its way. It's not a good one. It's drifting wide, and through yet again for another point. Well, that's his third, and Sturt need Wilmot on target.
We've just gone into time on in this first quarter. And you're right, David, Wilmot's played well, but he just can't convert. Brooksby out to Martin. Spoiled by Delina. Martin first to recover. Thought about a handball. Now centres the ball towards Bennett. Fine mark by Michael Bennett. Plays on quickly. Loose checking by the Sturt players. Darren Troy, another kick. He's been a dynamo. Oh, what a mark! Brilliant mark. You think he's not causing some headaches down there in the forward line? Already has 3 goals. Have a look at this. Had the ride. Brilliant mark. Never took his eyes off the ball. Kick number 4 for Daryl Hewitt. Drifting away across the face of goal. In fact, it's gone across the point post as well. It's out of bounds on the full.
Well, I don't think we could be too critical of Daryl Hewitt. 3 goals from 4 kicks, and that one just a bit offline. He's done everything right, however. Now Spiel, it looks like they've got him in ruck, Kim. You've called it well. Now Max Eddy over the ball. There's Spiel fighting for his life. That's what they need, Sturt. There's a little bit of fire in ruck. They've moved him into the ruck to try and get something going. I'm only surprised that it's taken this long to do it. Now behind play, there seems to be some trouble. There's a player down, and the umpires have had to call time off. The stretcher's coming out.
David, I've got
appears to be Delina, Kim.
Yes, I've got the binoculars on him at the moment, and I think you've called it correctly.
Well, in actual fact, it's my young sidekick, Danny Pearce, our statistician, who picked it up early. That would be very, very disappointing for the Double Blues. They've already been hit very hard with injuries. Broken arm last week to Hollis, broken thumb to their centre-half forward in Robert Klomp, and of course Heinrich's out also with a
broken finger.
The other one too, Kim, is David I has gone to hospital for tendons in his fingers. And look at the worry on Merv Kane. Weight of his world. Goodness me.
In fact, he looked like he was pulling his hair out then, David.
Well, I couldn't blame him, let me say that. The injury problems that Sturt have had in recent weeks certainly are horrifying. In fact, they're taking him straight to the boundary line.
Well, that's not a good sign.
Neil Craig also is another one who couldn't play today, Kim. Injured ribs prior to the game. He couldn't take his place. It's little wonder that the coach, Merv Kane, is pulling his hair out.
Play about to get back underway after that misfortune to Caldolina. Bickler with a tap out towards Moschini. Got that one back round his body, but he's kicked it out of bounds on the full, and the free kick will be taken by Paul Martin. Martin pushes the ball out towards centre-half forward, looking for Bickler, but it's Reid over the top. Russell, good handball.
Warner it was, Kim.
Over to Warner. Warner's kick out the direction of Menzel. Beautiful wrong way turn. Completely fooled his opponents. And that's a big mark taken by Wayne Kavanagh.
Well, it was an important mark too. They were into attack yet again, the Panthers. Now off to Moschini wearing the long sleeve Guernsey. His kick is short. Looks like Underwood's come out. He has. There's a 15-metre penalty been applied by Neville Thorpe. Kick number 3 for Underwood. 1 goal, 1 already in this game. Forward it goes. Brooksby with the big punch away. Comes to ground now. Brooksby yet again around his body with the kick. Forward it goes, looking for Bennett at centre wing. Painter's there. Also Smith. Now Smith with the ball. Chip short. Centre half forward, he's gone. Looks like he's found Viney. Well, Viney's been very quiet in this first term. This will be kick number 3 for him. Quiet game by his standards. Forward he goes. Underneath that one's Reynolds. Out come Walk. Hogarth. Brooksby. Desperate work by the Panther defence. And umpire Campbell will yet again have a bounce up.
29.5 minutes into this first quarter, and it's been a great quarter of football by South Adelaide. They're on 8 goals 1, leading Sturt 1 goal 4. Out towards Bennett, over to Honor. Honor's been flanked by Butler. Gee, reads the game well from that back pocket. It's a poor kick this time, but it's got safety because it's gone over the line. And I would say the Panthers will be happy to play out time in the rest of this first quarter.
Yes, I think they may be. Daryl Hewitt with 3 goals has been the star. John Schneebickler, of course, with 2 has also chipped in. Had some good players up forward, the Panthers. Now Sturt, can they get something going? Smith off to Moskini. Forward he goes. No one home. Leading in the race for that ball's Bennett. He's tackled very, very strongly. Now Underwood. Over the top it goes. Kim Russell with the ball. Evades the tackle, lines up the goals, kicks on its way. It's right through the middle. That's what the double Blues need. Russell with his first. Sturt advanced to 2 goals 4-16. Trailing the Panthers 8 goals 1-49. And the action's coming to you on 7's big league.
There was a lot of hard body work here. It was a good handball by Underwood, giving Kim Russell the opportunity. He's only playing his 3rd league game. Did that well, sidestep. Made himself balance and popped that straight through the middle. And that's a very handy goal to the double Blues.
In actual fact, Kim, Gary Johns put out a leg trying to trip Russell as he went through then. He should be careful, he may be reported. Farcical situation, of course, when you get reported for tripping. But still, it's in the rule book. Umpire Campbell with another ball up.
I certainly remember it being in the rule book, David. I was reported for it in 1978 in my 2nd league game.
Yes, Kim Dillon, of course, one of the dirtier players in league football. I was never reported. As siren goes to finish the first quarter here at Adelaide Oval. And quarter time scores. South Adelaide with 8 goals 1-49 have demolished Sturt so far in this game. Sturt 2 goals 4-16 in the action that's come to you on 7's big league.
So too is Reynolds, but it's Nailey's pace that wins out. Did that brilliantly. Kicks that one round his body looking for Campbell. He's having a bumping duel. Unfortunately, he's infringed, and the free kick will go to Andrew Winter. Of course, Andrew Winter came into the side, replacing the injured Neil Craig. Winter's wobbly kick out looking for Reynolds, couldn't hold the mark. Christie too strong. Oh, now the ball comes out towards Nailey again. This time he looks for Hewitt, left unattended, takes the mark, plays on quickly to Rod Campbell. Kicked 2 goals last week. It's a great kick under pressure, but not quite accurate enough. So Rodney Campbell posts his first score for the game.
Good attempt in wet conditions. 1 step and bang in heavy ground. It's a good effort by Campbell. Now the ball's back into play. Reynolds has the ball for the double Blues. His kick is forward. Spiel's up and is marked strongly. Spiel certainly has given them something to drive towards. Moskini, heavy bump. Handball back to Derrington. Derrington shepherded off the ball now. Dickinson weaves his way through. His right foot kick is a long one forward. Out the back was Eddie. Now Martin bursting his way through. Heavily met by Reynolds. Max Eddie taps the ball forward. Rod Campbell off to Darren Kapler. On the left foot he goes, looking for Daryl Hewitt. He leads in the race for the ball. Kavanagh's there with him. Clever work from Hewitt. Now he's clear. Short pass goes forward. Rick Davies marked. Well, he couldn't have done that any better, Daryl Hewitt. Magnificent skills. Tapped the ball in front of him. Then on the left foot with a very low pass found Rick Davies. Now the Jumbo playing possibly his last game against his old club. Will line up from 30 metres out. Angle's slight. Kick number 3. It's on its way. That's the big fella's first goal. That's just what he would have wanted. South Adelaide have had a quick answer to Sturt's goal from Kim Russell only moments ago.
Daryl Hewitt having a lot of effect in this game. Chipped out the short pass, and look at Rick Davies. He nearly swallowed that. Got a lot of admiration for this man. Been a big supporter of his over the years. I'm not showing any bias, but I hope he does well today because he's been an ornament to the game.
2 games short of his 350th. Big fella scored his first. We've played 5.5 minutes into the second term at Adelaide Oval. It's a 34-point lead to the Panthers. Rod Campbell bounces. Christie in ruck. Reynolds is back there also. Smith Off it goes to Whittlesey on the left foot forward. Johns is up and he's taken a strong mark, Johns. Well, he had his name written all over that ball. Now on the left foot he goes. Out wide to Darren Kapler, who's given him plenty of space. Handball come across the top to Troy. Troy's handball is long to Dickinson. He's waiting for Troy. They're mucking around a little bit again, the Panthers. Darren Kapler tackled strongly, gets the handball away. Russell's there, so too Troy. The handball comes long towards the boundary line and out of play on centre wing. In fact, this is Rick Davies' 349th game. I've just been informed by our statistician, Danny Pearce. So he's got one game to go, Kim, to play his 350th.
Remarkable achievement. Christie opposed to Reynolds. And I think you'll find the Sturt players are changing their rucks at centre-half forward, so that's asking a lot of both Spiel and Reynolds.
Well, I think if Sturt are going to get back in this game, Kim, they're going to need a lot given by both those players.
That's for sure, because this man Christie's doing all the work. Another tap over the back towards Dickinson. He fed off towards Darren Kaplan. That's a prolific kick. Look at the distance. Davies out-positioned, out-manoeuvred, and outplayed his opponent, Mark Warner, on that occasion. Did it well. Years of experience. Incredible when you think of it. Rick Davies playing his 349th game. Standing young Mark Warner in his first league game of football, and Davies has posted his second goal.
Yes, it is, Kim. Youth versus experience, and on that occasion, experience won the day. South Adelaide are now 10 goals, 2 behinds. Leading Sturt 3 goals, 4, and it's the Panthers by 40 points thanks to that great mark and goal by Rick Davies.
Scoreboard tells the story. 8 minutes into this second quarter. Reynolds to do the ruck work against Christie. Merv Kane has chosen to persevere with young Reynolds. Got his hand to the ball that time. Out the direction of Darrington. Darrington in turn looking for Ward. Through comes Johns. Gary Johns, there's no doubt about him. He's from the old school, socks down and straight through. That's the only way he knows how to play it, and he does it very well. Nayley and Darrington opposing each other. Ball comes to ground. Pater in there. That was a half-hearted effort. So too is Brent Nonner. Darren Troy gets up rather gingerly. I think he might have copped one in the back.
Yes, he copped a boot from Painter as Painter tried to gain position for that ball. Now ball up. Large pack of players is in there. Darrington's held. We're not possession. No free kick, says the umpire. And now another ball up. They've recruited very well, Kim, South Adelaide, the players they've got.
Certainly have, David. They have. They've had financial problems, so they've had to rely on picking up players from other clubs and around in their local areas.
Well, players like Troy, of course, and Johns, 2 former Victorian players, given them a great deal of depth.
Certainly have. Ball comes to ground play, getting rather scrambly at the moment. Umpire Ross Campbell will have the ball up once more. See a lot of players there, very congested around that centre-half forward area for the double blues. Frank Spill opposed to Menzel. Gary Johns went up as well. Now there's been a free kick found. Play on the call. Dickinson out to Butler. Gee, finds the space as well. Out to Darren Kapler against Moschini. Now Moschini's no slouch when it comes to pace. Oh, trying to play the tackle. It was a good tackle, but unfortunately Darren Kapler was equal to that challenge, and he'd handled the ball out. So a very good decision by umpire Neville Thorpe. Kick number 9 for Kapler. It's a long one. Down in the direction of Bickler. Couldn't take the mark. Players going in very hard. So too is David Kapler. Out to Darryl Hewitt. Can't pick the ball up. Max Eddy does it well. And unfortunately, he took that ball over the line. So at the 10-minute mark of this second quarter, it's South Adelaide 10-2-62, leading Sturt 3-4-22.
Top action coming to you on Sevens Big League as the ball will be thrown back into play 25 metres outside of the South Adelaide goals. Now Rodney Campbell with the ball. Onto the left foot he goes. It's high to the centre of the square. Rick Davies underneath that one. He's marked. Oh, good body work, Rick Davies. Very strong hands. Took the front position, and he was never going to miss the mark from that point. Set himself very well for that one. And even though the punch came from behind, the big fella was too strong. It's his 4th mark. Already has 2 goals, 1 from 5 kicks, Rick Davies. And now from point-blank range will line up and kick his 3rd. That he does. It's right through the middle. That's 3 goals for Rick Davies. The Panthers go to 11 goals, 2. 68 points, leading Sturt 3 goals, 4, 22.
We see South Adelaide captain John Schnabigler congratulating Rick Davies. And John Schnabigler did say earlier in the week that the Panthers needed their coach out there on the field. The kick came round the body from Rodney Campbell. Did extremely well to centre that. And you can't blame young Mark Warner. He did everything right. He tried to spoil, but Rick Davies far too strong.
Rick Davies has scored the last 3 goals for the Panthers. The southern end of Adelaide Oval. Now Christian Ruck, he's got the tap yet again. Goes down to Todd Viney. They've brought him onto the ball. Viney now comes out with the kick. Wide to Hogarth at half forward. Hogarth will need to get moving. He looks to play on. The handball's long. It's not well dispatched, however. Put Kim Russell under a tremendous amount of pressure. Brooksby with the handball back. Comes to Russell on the left foot. He goes. Goalward bound. He lines him up. Miraculous goal, Kim Russell. That's his 3rd, and he's one of Sturt's best players. That takes Sturt to 5 goals, 4. Trailing South Adelaide 11 goals, 2, and the actions come to you on 7's big lead.
Well, I must confess I hadn't really heard of Kim Russell. He's only playing his 3rd league game. But what I've seen today, he's a real chance to make a go of his football career. He's got a touch of class, very polished, and I'm very impressed with the work he's done today.
Yes, Kim, you couldn't help but be impressed. He's kicked 3 goals, 2 from very difficult angles. 2 of them, I think, have been almost goals of the day. The bounce came down to Reynolds. His tap went to Smith. Forward go the double blues. Underneath that one's Painter. He's being held by Butler. Butler tried to play basketball. Now Brooksby with the punch forward to Johns. Painter's there again. Strong work by him. The handball comes out. Russell it was. The tax has been applied. Now out to David Kapler, zigzagging his way through. That was almost a la Ralph Sewer. Now Christie around his body. Forward he goes. The big punch away came. The ball to ground. Troy. Forward it went. Max Eddy got the tap, but Moschetti comes out with the ball, and the double blues are into attack yet again. He's kicked forward. Todd Viney with the mark. In fact, it's Underwood. Underwood went to play on. The umpire didn't call it. Now a 15-metre penalty. It'll be 30 metres if he's not careful. Neville Thorpe in control. He's done a good job today, Thorpe. So too Campbell. The kick went forward. Punched away came from Johns towards the boundary line. In fact, it was a heavy thump. The tackle's been applied by Bennett. It was put on Chris McGowan, who's onto the oval. And Michael Bennett, the left half back, will receive a free kick.
Bennett goes back towards the centre of the ground to Butler. Butler uses the run of Honour. Honour in turn over to David Kapler. Kapler's kicks high out looking for Campbell. Ball mark wasn't taken then by Winter. Now Sturt back in the direction of David Kapler. That's a brilliant mark. One-hander.
One-hander, Kim G was a good mark. He stuck the hand out and the ball just stuck.
Kick number 5 for David Kapler. The crowd's enjoying this game, especially the South Adelaide supporters. Play on the call. Moschetti out to Whittlesea. He's been very quiet. Started the game in the middle. A push in the back down. That's been picked up by Ross Campbell. And the free kick will be awarded to Kim Russell.
Kim Russell's kick goes forward, looking for Walker. He's up and is marked. Close attention from Brenton Honour. Walker's had a quiet game so far. In fact, this will be kick number 3.
Just talking to David Walk, David, I think he's got a lot of ability, and he just appears to be a little bit wasted to me in a forward pocket. He's played some brilliant games on the wing for the Sturt Football Club.
Well, we saw him kick 7 goals from a forward pocket here at Adelaide Oval against Central District, Kim. So I certainly think he's capable enough, but perhaps just not finding the ball today. Now Martin. Handballs over the top of the running player in Michael Bennett. Panthers look good when they go forward. Steve Vickler on the lead has dropped the chest mark, and the ball will go out of play at centre wing. Getting back to Walk, Kim, where would you play him?
Oh, like I said before, David, I think he should be on the wing. He's got a lot of skill, a lot of ability, and I think he should be given the opportunity to show it. And it's a very hard position in the forward pocket, and I'm well aware that he did kick 7 goals there early in the year, but that's only one game, and we can all have a day on like that.
Wish I could have a day on every now and again like that when I was playing footy, Kim. Steve Bickler now with the ball, bursts his way through the pack. done some heavy bullocking work, Schneebickler, but since the first quarter he's been quiet. Now the game just lacking a little bit of flavour. It's almost as if Sturt have resigned themselves to the fact that they're going to cop a walloping today. They'll need to get cracking if they're to pick up the momentum.
Gee, I wouldn't say that, David. I thought they fought well, but South Adelaide have just been equal to the task. Their commitment's been good. Well, South Adelaide are a good side. They've disappointed me this year. You go through their players, Nayley, the Kapler brothers, Schneebickler, Paul Martin, Brooksby, Bennett was a state player, Christie's a great ruckman, this fella John's as hard as they come, Troy in the middle. Honestly, I'm amazed that South Adelaide are where they are.
Well, what's their problem, Kim?
Well, I just can't pinpoint it, Joe. If I could, David, I'd probably be out there coaching. Well, you must agree with me, surely. You know, on paper, they should be a lot higher up on the ladder, but they've got the ingredients of a very good side.
Yes, I think they have. I think by and large they tend to zigzag and go short. If they could go much more direct as they've done today, they're devastating. They've certainly done that today, and the result shows on the scoreboard. Johns with the mark. Now a 15-metre penalty applied. They certainly has some fine players. But Kim, getting back to the desperation by the Sturt side, I don't think they've been very hard on the ball, and that's been the difference. Bennett's kick goes forward. On the lead was Darryl Hewitt. He kicked 3 goals in the first term. Kavanagh's there with him, so too Dickinson. Dickinson was met high, but came out with the ball. Off to Martin he goes. Martin fakes. Can line up the goals. 55 metres out on the run. The kick goes forward. Rick Davies is there. He shepherded it through. But unfortunately, the ball's gone wide of the post and through for one behind.
Strong body work by Rick Davies.
Yes, Kim, it was. And South Adelaide advanced to 11 goals for 70 points, leading Sturt 4 goals for 28.
Frank Spill to take the kick off. I can't see the common sense in that. He should be out trying to take the mark. He put it out well to Viney. Viney couldn't complete the mark. Now he butters up. Great recovery. Powers away from the pack. Pushes this kick out the direction of Warner. Fine mark, Mark Warner. Moved away from the fullback position. Uses the run of Underwood. Underwood steers out a pass to Wilmot. Now Shane Butler will police the mark, allowing Bill Brooksby to get back and use his height on the last line of defence. Kick number 5 for Ian Wilmot. It's a huge kick. It's a mammoth kick. And that's Wilmot's first goal. Gives him a personal tally of 1 goal 3 and moves Sturt on to 5-4. Trailing South Adelaide 11 goals 3.
Well, Kim, the Double Blues certainly look better when they move the ball forward in that fashion. He called it well. Warner's been moved out from full-back to centre-half forward. He played on very, very quickly to the running player and Andrew Underwood. He found Wilmot on the lead. I think there was a trip there. Well, how do you call that?
Back in the centre, Neville Thorpe. Christie opposed to Reynolds. Reynolds with the tap. Down towards Bennett. Underwood does hard body work. Great handball by Campbell. Bennett chips in well for the mark. Well, Merv Kane's made an incredible move. He's put Frank Spill to full back on Rick Davies, and I, for one, think that's ridiculous. Schneebickler, front of the pack. Handball back towards Campbell. Kapler in there. Kick around his body. Comes up high. Let's see what Spill can do. Underneath that one. Takes a courageous mark.
I think Frank Spill certainly had the better of Rick Davies since being moved to full back.
Good comment, David. He's been there 30 seconds.
Oh, dear me. Frank Spill with a kick. It goes out wide. Punch was on. Forward it went. Underwood with the handball out. Now Russell. Off the running player in Whittlesey. Gee, Whittlesey's been quiet today. We've hardly sighted him now. Smith hasn't been one of their star performers. He goes goalward. Wilmot's dropping back on it. Can he get a hand to it? He does, but he can't mark. Brooksby now with the ball for the Panthers. His kick comes out wide. Rodney Campbell in the race for that ball. Around his body, it's not a good kick. Maskenny will lead. Darren Kapler, tremendous pace, comes through, tackled. Umpire went to blow the whistle and didn't. Now Maskenny with the ball. Painter tackled it and tapped the ball in front of him. Running through there was Rodney Campbell, and a ball up will take place.
Just getting back to that Spill and Davies situation. Spill is so valuable around the ground, David. I just
Tim,
can't see...
I agree with you. I was being a little bit facetious. I certainly think Spill should be in the thick of things. Now forward and a big mark by Brooksby.
But looking at his side, I can see the problem that Merv Kane's fronted with. He hasn't got a lot of height. The only other option he could make, I would say, would be to put Peter Reid, who's playing centre-half back, to full back. But then again, that'll let Bickler loose, so he's got problems, Merv Kane. Campbell over there, handballs out quickly. Moschini with a chance. Long kick, skirting the boundary line. Christie in there. He's in all the right places at all the right times, Gary Christie.
In fact, it was Brenton Honor, Kim, I'm sorry.
I wondered how Christie could have got back there that quick.
Good comment, Kim. Now Reynolds with the ball, comes down to Hogarth. He was tackled. Rodney Campbell, been lucky to get away with that. The Panthers forward went the kick, but Todd Viney's there. Todd Viney now coming into the game. His left foot kick is forward, looking for Reynolds. Christie's there, up, hands the ball. Now Johns, the underground handball went through to Martin. He's hugging the boundary line. Clever work by Martin. Gets a handball away, tackled by Moschini. Now it's the double Blues forward. The kick came from McGowan. He found Derrington. Derrington went towards centre-half ball. Looking for Underwood, and Underwood's met solidly. Well, Dickinson was the offending player. A 15-metre penalty's been applied. And now Underwood from 20 metres out with an opportunity of scoring his second goal. Five-point advantage to the Panthers. Now whittled back to 59 points with kick number 8. Underwood puts through his second goal.
Underwood did well, stood his ground. And one could say potentially that was quite a dangerous situation he was in. Ball came out wide here along the boundary line. Derrington took the mark, raised the eyes, centred the ball towards Underwood. That was a courageous mark. Dickinson came in late, but in all honesty, I think that looked a lot worse than what it really was.
Back at centre field, Christie gathers the ball in from the ruck, tries to handball off to Campbell. Campbell now gets the handball away to Bennett. He's dispossessed. Through went Dickinson. Well done, Dickinson. Broke clear. The kick goes forward. On the lead is Eddie. He can play on. Short he goes, looking for Davies on the lead, but the kick is not well dispatched. In fact, it's out of bounds on the full in the right forward pocket. Well, they certainly had momentum there, the Panthers, and had Rick Davies had the ball put better, I'm sure he would have marked. Now back into play. Reynolds is there with Christie. Reynolds has the mark. Kim, I think Reynolds is certainly coming back into this game.
He is. You've got to give the youngster a lot of credit. He's a trier, and he has got a lot of ability, but Christie's a very good player, and he's had his problems. Smith off hands. Handball quick over to Warner. Warner's kick on the way. Through the goals, and the double Blues, they're not going to lie down. They're fighting their way back into this game. They move on to 7 goals 4. Trailing South 11 goals 3, and we've got a Donnybrook on. Right on the forward flank. Players getting rather involved in this game.
I think that's just a minor wrestle, Kim. They've been watching...
Well, it's part of football. I reckon it's great.
Yes, I think certainly it's a highlight that people come to look for. Good stouse doesn't go astray.
Certainly not, David. And no one condones behind-the-play incidents, but a bit of a push and a shove, and the odd slap and tickles never hurt anyone. Well, there was the goal, and it was a much-needed one.
I don't think a slap and a tickle's ever hurt anyone, Kim. Ball back at centre. Actually, we might have a game on our hands. It's now 23 points to lead to South Adelaide. They had a pretty handy lead previously, but it's been whittled down. Darren Kapler on the left foot. Wide he goes out looking for Schneebickler. Schneebickler got a hand to it, but it was punched away from him by Reid. In fact, it's been punched wide to the boundary line. And we're just into time on to the second term at Adelaide Oval. Top action coming to you on 7's Big League.
Well, I hope the Double Blues can get back into this game, because you wrote them off 10 minutes into the second quarter, David, and you said they were resigned to a walloping.
Yes, they've certainly showed a bit more character than I gave them credit for. As Moschini comes wide to Reid. Forward goes the kick. And there's that man again, Mark Warner. He started the game in disastrous fashion at full back. Watching the ball go over his head for 8 straight goals from the Panther forwards. Now, since going to centre-half forward, he's given them a lift. Forward he goes. Dropping back was Christie. Christie now comes grandstand side, looking for Martin. He's up, hands the ball, and has taken in a good mark. He did that very, very well, playing in front of Chris McGowan. Kick number 9 for Martin. Been a good player. Forward he goes, looking for Eddie. Punch came from behind. Now Todd Viney over to Smith. His kick is forward. No one home for the Double Blues. Wasn't well dispatched. Brooksby out from full-back. Chip short. And he'll find Darren Troy at half-back.
Troy been a superb player today. Closely attended by Andrew Underwood. Kick number 9. In fact, it was a handball over to Martin. Martin looking for Menzel. Couldn't take the one-handed mark. Oh, through went Robert Bill very hard. Jim Derrington picks up the crumbs, gets a quick kick away. Painter couldn't take it. Butler can. Back towards Naylor. Been fairly quiet today. Chips up a high kick to the forward region. Underneath it, Campbell. Well spoiled by Winter. Moschini in there to lend support. Sturt starting to run. Out to Whittlesea. Oh, he heard Bailey coming. Tried to tap it over the back. Campbell over to Bill. Bill getting himself into the game quickly. Walk. Oh, quick Campbell.
Better with the free kick, holding the man.
The umpire's been very good today, David.
Called them very quickly. Bennett now off to Brooksby. Forward goes Brooksby to Dickinson. Certainly he's been a high-profile player for the Panthers today. The handball now over the top to Martin. Two good players. On to Darren Kapler. The ball will sit in the mud, or will it not? Kapler now gets it out to Troy. Forward he goes, looking for Davies, who's clear. He's up and he's marked. Rick Davies got clear of Frank Spiel. He shows him the ball, twists it around in his fingers just to let Frankie know he's got it.
One gets the feeling, David, that Rick Davies and Frank Spiel are having a few words to each other down there.
I think they might be. Frank Spiel let him know he was there, gave him a little bit of extra attention after the mark, and now Rick Davies, 2 goals, 1 to date, 20 metres out, point-blank range, right through the middle, 3 goals, 1 to Rick Davies, 4 goals in fact. He kicked 3 in the early part of this game, early part of this quarter, and now goal number 4 for Rick Davies. That takes South Adelaide on to 12 goals, 375, leading Sturt 7 goals, 446.
We've had 28 minutes of this second quarter. Troy's pass was superb. Davies, look at the determination on his face. Grit the teeth. Beautiful mark. And that could just be the steady the Panthers were looking for.
Yes, they were under siege from the Double Blues, and that's Rick Davies' 4th. In fact, he's scored every goal for the Panthers in this quarter. Now Troy, kick comes forward. Paul Martin's there. Over the top of the ball, tackled very, very well by Chris McGowan. Mark Nayley over the top of that pack. Jim Derrington there. And Paul Martin just trying to sort out the players. Umpires Campbell and Thorpe have done a very good job today, Kim.
Certainly have, David. Umpired very well indeed. Derrington over the top.
The thing I like is they've picked out the early free kick and kept the game flowing.
The Panthers lead by 29 points. Reynolds got his hand to the ball first. Derrington in there. Troy back to Martin. Can't help but be impressed with Troy. Every time we've seen him this year, he's been a star. Free kick awarded to Dickinson. Good player. David Catler's found the space. Been put out the direction of that player. Oh, courageous mark. He couldn't complete it. Darryl Hewitt in there. Campbell too. Campbell over to Darren Kapler on the left boot. He's a great kick for goal. That's no exception. Straight through the middle. And hasn't the accurate kicking of South Adelaide been a feature today?
Yes, Kim, it has been. Darren Kapler just completing his 2nd goal. We've just played under 30 minutes in this final term. David Kapler couldn't complete the mark. Finally came out to Darren Kapler, who goaled. And as you called it, 13 goals, 3, a feature of South Adelaide's game today. They're straight kicking for goal. They now lead Sturt 7 goals, 446, and Top Action come to you on 7's big lead.
29.5 minutes into the second quarter. Reynolds, he's lifted his game. Down to Troy. Troy with a quick handball out to Nayley. Look at the pace of Nayley. Thought about the handball. One way, then the other. Too good. Now to Snapickler, being well held by Reid. Reid provides the run, then spears out a pass towards Painter. Painter plays on quickly. He was off. Umpire says he wasn't. And there's the siren to end the second quarter at Adelaide Oval. A great quarter of football. South Adelaide 13 goals, 381. Leading Sturt 7-4-46. The action on 7's big lead.
3rd quarter at Adelaide Oval, and it's the Panthers by 35 points. They led by 33 at quarter time, and they've advanced that by 2 points during the second term. Christie and Reynolds do work in the ruck. The ball comes wide. Running through was Campbell. He's been a good player today for the Panthers. Over the top of that ball was David Kapler. So too Andrew Winter, number 37 for the Double Blues. Umpires Neville Thorpe and Rod Campbell today officiating as the umpires. Certainly have done a fine job. Troy gets the handball out to Naylor. He's tackled without possession. Now Smith with the ball, drives it forward. Will not jumping across underneath that one. He can't get to it. Now Brooksby punches the ball wide and out of play. Kim, they'll certainly need to get into an attacking frame of mind, the Double Blues.
I agree with you, David. I see that Merv Kane has left Frank Spiel at fullback opposed to Rick Davies.
You're not happy with that, are you?
No, I just don't think it's a good move, David. I think Spill's got to be on the ball. I think if they have to, I know they're short on height. I think that possibly they should put Peter Reid back there. Spill's, you know, they can't win the game unless they can get it out of the centre, and Spill's the man to give them that lift in the middle.
Yes, I do tend to agree. Reynolds in ruck for the Double Blues. He's coming back with a vengeance. He started off slowly. He's worked his way into the game. Over the top went Mark Warner. He's gone to centre half forward for the Double Blues. Now around his body is Underwood, but his kick is a poor one, and it's out of bounds on the full. Andrew Underwood, of course, has kicked 2 goals, 1 to date. Been one of the more attacking forwards that the Double Blues have had. Naylor, who's been quiet, driving forward. Underneath that one's Christie. He's been everywhere. You called it in the second term. Now Viney's been quiet today. Chips around his body cleverly. Underneath that one, it appears to be Robert Veal. It is. And Robert Veal is marked 35 metres out. Very slight angle and an opportunity of scoring his first goal. A trail by 35 points, the Double Blues. A goal here would be more than handy. Kicks on its way. It's offline off the boot. In fact, it won't even make the distance. Punched away by Butler from behind. Underwood's there off the back of his foot. The bottom of that pack, it looks like Walk, and there's a push in the back decision. Gary Johns dived for the ball. It was desperate work by Walk. And at the bottom of the pack, he's received a free kick. Now, he couldn't possibly miss from here, Kim. 15 metres out, directly in front. He hasn't scored a goal to date. This will be kick number 4 for him. So it hasn't been a great day. But from point-blank range, Walk lines up the goals, and that's right through the middle. That's the start of the third term that they want. Topped action on 7's big lead.
It was desperate work by Walk. Ball came to ground. Gary Johns was in there. Underwood tapped it back. And we see Walk. Both players had the same idea to dive on top of the ball. And unfortunately for Gary Johns, David Walk got on top of the ball first. So 29 points the difference. And anything could happen. Sturt by no means out of this game.
Well, there's plenty of time to go yet, but I think the desperation of the South Adelaide side's been better. Reynolds with the big punch away. That's what they're looking for, some aggressive play. Coming through was Johns. His handball smothered by Underwood. Now on the left foot, it goes forward. Brooksby well shepherded against Wilmot. The ball's running back towards the goal square. There's a push in the back. And Brooksby has pushed the ball across the line and through for 1 point. That's a rush. And that advances the score for the Double Blues by 1 point. They now trail by 28 points.
Shane Butler to bring the ball back into play. Hops to the grandstand side, looking for Menzel. In front of his player was Warner. Taken well by Russell. Kim Russell already has 3 goals, and that's a great mark by Dickinson. Dickinson plays on quickly, wastes no time. Over to David Kapler. Kicks his out wide to Naylor. Naylor's been tagged by Derrington today. Over the top to Martin. Derrington has to do the chasing. Wobbly kick forward. Moschini got a hand to spoil it. Viney through. Left foot kick. And that's a great mark taken by David Kapler.
Been a good player today for the Panthers, Kim.
Consistent performer every week, David.
Now back with Bennett at centre. He's marked. Little knock with the forearm on Underwood's jaw. Kick number 9 for him. In fact, he handballs off. The running player was Butler in support. His kick is forward, but not long enough to find Max Eddy. And dropping across in front of Max Eddy is Daryl Smith. Smith from right half back. Drives the ball along the wing. It's punched away from behind by Johns. And out of play. Paul Hogarth there, and also Mark Warner for the Double Blues as the ball comes back into play. Reynolds has front position from behind Christie. Taps it down to Warner. Kim Russell gets the kick away. Now Walk gathers in the ball. He's tackled high. In fact, he's been hit and pushed in the back at the same time. take whichever free kick you want. Walk wastes no time. They've obviously been told to play on at all costs. Wilmot on the lead as marked just inside the boundary line. It's an acute angle. He couldn't possibly goal from there. In fact, he decides to centre it. Short he goes. The lead is on from Robert Veal, and he's taken a mark. Only 25 metres out, Veal. The angle is acute, but not as bad as that Wilmot was facing. Now Robert Veal just onto the ground prior to half-time. An opportunity with kick number 3 to score his first goal. Good-looking kick off the boot. Unfortunately, it's drifting wide. In fact, it's out of play in the left forward pocket, and the throw-in will take place. We've played 4 minutes into the third term at Adelaide Oval. South Adelaide 13-3, leading Sturt 8-5.
28-point advantage to the Panthers. David Kapler over to Nayley. Nayley starting to break loose in this third quarter. His handball out wide, looking for Bennett. Now it goes on to Honour. Puts Martin in a little bit of trouble. Martin's handball's long and wild out in the direction of Christie. He's got 2 players to beat. Now it comes back to Moschini. Moschini on to Darryl Smith. Quiet player in the first half. Johns leads in the chase for the ball. Can't break away, though. Painter in there. He's been quiet. In fact, Painter's won a free kick. He's only had 6 kicks to date. This will be kick number 7. One way, then the other. Ran himself in a bit of trouble. Pushes out a pass. Not a good pass. Nayley should have intercepted that. He was met fiercely by Wilmot. And now has been penalised for a throw. Nayley not happy with the decision. Has a minor altercation with David Walk. I'm sure that won't upset David Walk because he has the ball. Now, if David Walk could kick this, it'd only make it a 22-point difference. That'd certainly give the Blues some encouragement. Kick not good, though. That's another point. So it's the Panthers by 27 points, and we've had 7 minutes of this third quarter.
1 goal, 1 to David Walk. A goal there would have been more than handy for the Double Blues. They trail by now 27 points. They could have reduced that deficit to 22 had that gone through. The kick is forward. Derrington punches away from Nayley. Bursting through was Whittlesey. He's been very, very quiet. Now Chris McGowan. Forward he goes to the goal square. A big punch away came. Now David Kapler threads his way through the pack, conceding ground. Now wide to grandstand, but Kim Russell's underneath that and has taken a fine diving mark. Kim Russell scored 2 great goals. 1 late in the first term and 1 early in the second term. Certainly stamped himself as a fine player for the Double Blues. This is kick number 9 for him. Forward he goes to the point of the goal square. A pack of players flies. Painter off the top. It's offline, however, the snap and through for 1 point. Well, clever skills from John Painter. Gathered the ball in off the pack. Quick as a flash onto the left boot, but unfortunately the snap was astray.
Did well to get ball to boot. Brooksby, short pass to David Kapler. Plays on quickly. It's a long kick looking for Troy. Troy left it for Christie. He didn't realise that Reynolds was going to intercept. Reynolds. Pass on to Viney. Underwood. In fact, it is.
They do look alike, Kim.
Todd Viney's been very quiet today. Underwood and turn. Short pass to Derrington. So loose checking by the Panthers. This could be a danger period for South Adelaide. They've led up to half-time in most of their games this season, but haven't been able to go on with the job. They only lead by 26 points. Instead have been doing all the attacking in the first 8 minutes of this game. Jim Derrington, kick number 6, has a wealth of football experience. But that's not going to help him this time as the kick's offline, so he posts a point. That's his first score for the game, and it's South Adelaide by 25 points.
Jim Derrington's certainly been a terrier for the Double Blues today. Of course, acting captain. The absence of Neil Craig through a rib injury. He's unable to take his place, Craig. Paul Martin with the hospital handball. Comes now to Butler. Forward he goes with a short kick looking for Schneebichler over his head. Moschini will do the mopping up work for the Sturt defence. He evades the tackle by Kapler, now centres the ball. And underneath that at centre wing is Kim Russell. He's covering a lot of ground, Russell. Now the Double Blues into attack. They go yet again. On his own was Warner. Started the game at full-back. Short he goes. On to Veal. Veal lines up the goal straight through the middle. Well, maybe this is what the Double Blues needed. An inspirational goal there to Veal. They moved the ball from the back lines to the forward lines. Right through the middle it went. And now Sturt, 9 goals, 8.52. trail South Adelaide 13 goals, 381, and the action's come to you on 7's Big Lead.
Certainly is, and we just saw some happy Sturt supporters. This was better play by the Double Blues, direct football. Pass came out wide. It was well taken by Warner. Quickness of mind. He got the handball over to Robertville. He made no mistake from 15 metres out. The Blues are back in business. They trail by 19 points.
Well, a 35-point deficit at half-time, and could this game hot up? Big punch away comes from Reynolds. There's some excitement in this game now. Reynolds with the handball over the top to Russell. The kick off the ground. It went forward in the right direction. Butler was met heavily by Walk. He's tackled, holding the ball, says the umpire. No, he doesn't. He made an attempt to dispose of the ball. That's the way umpire Campbell saw it, and a throw-up will take place. Viney with the big punch forward. It goes to Butler. He gets the quick handball away now to Nailey. Nailey's handball is high to David Kapler. Tackled by Warner. Threading the way through was Underwood. The handball over the top to Derrington. He throws out the handball wide. If Painter can pick it up, he can shoot for goal. The kick's on its way. Can it be shepherded through in the goal square? There's some desperate work by Wilmot. He's met heavily, and now Brooksby is there on top of the ball to hold it in the area. And certainly the Sturt side have got a lot more desperation in them now, Kim.
I agree, David. I've got to be honest, David, I thought all along their commitment was good, but South's use of the ball, they were first to the ball, and I thought that was the difference. They couldn't get it out of the centre. But I couldn't condemn the commitment of the Double Blues today. And, gee, the boot's on the other foot. Now it's South Adelaide under pressure. It'll be interesting to see how they can respond. Tap at the back of the pack, quick snap, but it was well smothered. Players dive on top.
Viney it was, Kim.
The tempo has certainly picked up in this game. 11 and a half minutes gone of this third quarter. South Adelaide by 19 points. They've only gone into attack once in this third quarter.
Certainly the Sturt forwards are much more desperate now. Derrington diving on that ball. Mark Warner doing the ruck work up forward for the Double Blues. Yet again this time drags the ball down, kicks it forward towards goals, but it's out of play in the right forward pocket. And the Double Blues doing all the attacking in the early part of this third term. Throw in now, right forward pocket. Comes back into play. Large pack of players develop. Underwood's there, so too Brooksby. He's tackled by Derrington, and another ball up will take place. Certainly desperate moments for the South Adelaide defence, Kim.
I agree, David, and Coach Rick Davies has made some moves. He's pushing the Bickler into the ruck. Christie's having a rest at centre-half forward. Let's hope that move doesn't cause the Panthers to lose momentum. Ball comes out towards Darren Kapler, couldn't take the mark. Well, high tackle applied to Martin. The crowd's not happy. The free kick was there. Martin plays on quickly and he put on under pressure. Poor football by Paul Martin. Golden opportunity gone begging. Moschini pleading for a free kick, not happy.
Good work by Moschini on that occasion. Had two players to beat and he did it well. Now the ball comes to ground. Derrington, quick handball out to the running player in Chris McGowan. On the left foot he went, but it was followed. Now the tackle's been applied, holding the ball. Go back to McGowan on the left foot. Forward he goes, wasting no time for the Double Blues. A big pack develops. Punched away, Derrington reads the ball off to the pack. Forward he goes on the left foot. No one home for the Double Blues. Wilmot there. Tackled by Brooksby, pushed in the back, but no free kick. And over the top of that ball, Gary Johns. And you called it earlier, Kim, they've got to start getting the ball out from the bottom of those packs. And until a player grabs them and the umpire calls a free kick, I think they'll sit on it forever.
Left forward pocket for the Blues. Ball comes down towards Honour. Troy tries to burst his way through. Onto the field is Warren Plungers. He couldn't take possession. And we'll have another bounce.
Certainly a tall boy, Warren Plungers, the player with the beard on screen.
Been very impressive in several reserves games we've seen him in this year. Didn't win the tap this time. Players dive on top of the ball again. Brenton Honour copped a hard one. Robert Bill's in there. So too is Butler. Now the ball's flicked out. But a free kick was sorted out before that. Sturt supporters aren't happy. I've got to be honest, I couldn't pick it up from here. Nevertheless, Shane Butler will take it. Butler's kick towards the centre of the ground, looking for Max Eddy. Over the head of that player. Whittlesey was there. He's been quiet. Martin with a chance. Playing for a free kick, now gains possession and gives it to Dickinson. Dickinson had to use all his pace to get away from Kim Russell. Now the ball comes down towards Reid. Kavanagh, in fact, it is. Kavanagh running the ball in front of him. Overran it, though. It was taken by Campbell. Oh, he put Dickinson under the hammer then. That was a bad handball. They might get out of trouble. Martin shrugs the tackle. Tips out a short pass to Darren Kapler. And the Panthers have a chance just to steady play up for a moment. Darren Kapler already has 2 goals. Kick number 13 on his way. He's a very long kicker of the football. That's so accepted, and the accuracy's there as well. So that's the steadier for the Panthers. They move on to 14 goals, 3, 87 points, leading Sturt 9-8-62.
We've just played 15 minutes into this third term at Adelaide Oval, and certainly Sturt side, they came through, attacked strongly. The player with the ball in front of him was Wayne Kavanagh. He got a B-grade bounce. Handball from Campbell to Dickinson. Martin read it the better. The short left foot kick found Darren Kapler, who goaled.
Snabigler in the ruck, dead heat with that one. Tries to butter up and do the roving as well. Neville Thorpe, umpire Neville Thorpe, has to sort out play. 16 minutes gone of this third quarter. Panthers lead by 25 points. They've led all day. Todd Viney comes through with a wobbly kick. Unfortunately for Todd Viney and Sturt players and supporters, that ball's gone out of bounds on the full. And it will be Warren Plungers to bring the ball back into play. Plungers, long drop punt kick, looking for Christie, well spoiled from that player. Eddie was there, grabbed without possession. Christie through again. Campbell, great quickness of mind. Heard the call from Dickinson, popped it over the top. Now Dickinson in turn passes it over to Nailey. Nailey spears down a pass and finds Hewitt. Darryl Hewitt was a mild sensation in the first quarter, kicking 3 goals. Was held scoreless in the second quarter and now has an opportunity to post his 4th goal with his 6th kick. Looks pretty good off the boot, but not quite good enough. Umpire moves to his right to indicate a point. South Adelaide move on to 14-4, leading Sturt 9-8.
3 goals, 1 and 1 out of bounds on the full for Daryl Hewitt today from 6 kicks. Frank Spiel, of course, is playing at full-back on Rick Davies today. There's no love lost between those 2 players. Over the back was Eddie. The punch came forward to Russell, off to Moskeny. Now Smith. Double Blues into attack yet again. Forward they go. On the lead was Walk, and he's marked. Diving mark in wet conditions, Walk. He's a good mark pound for pound. As good as any player in the league. Forward now he goes. The kick, however, is not a good one. Wilmot it was on the lead. Coming through was Brooksby. Off to Johns. On the left foot he goes. Looking for Schneewickler. Ball is over his head. To Troy it goes. Fakes the dummy. Kicks long to the running player in David Kapler. He's unattended now. Max Eddy at centre half forward. 10 or 15 yards clear. He lines up the goals. The kick's on its way. It's coming back. Right through the middle for Max Eddy. That's goal number 2 for him, and South Adelaide have given themselves some breathing space. They now advance to 15 goals 4-84, leading Sturt 9 goals 8-62. Top action on 7's big lead.
And Panther supporters can thank Darren Troy for this goal. Have a look at this. Went one way, then the other. Was going to handball to Campbell. Saw that Campbell had a player behind him, so held onto the ball. Passed it out to David Kapler. David Kapler over the top to Max Eddy. He used 10 metres, steadied and popped that right through the middle. So that gives the Panthers a little bit of breathing space in this third quarter.
They're back to 32 points. The lead. Certainly given the Panthers some breathing space. Rick Davies would be very pleased with that. Reynolds from the centre, punches it on. Bennett, however, for the Panthers, gets it off to Troy. Quick hands, it goes to Eddie. Now to Darren Kapler. The handball is long to brother David. In the 1-2 it goes, however, back to Schneewickler. He fumbles the ball. Now Sturt have an opportunity of getting it out of defence, but unfortunately the ball was fumbled also there by Kim Russell. Mark Nailey dived on the ball, and Neville Thorpe will have a ball up.
David Sneezer opened up pretty well in that first quarter when he popped through a couple of goals, but apart from that, he's been a very quiet player.
No, he perhaps just given an opportunity of running himself into this game. Kapler with the kick forward, it goes. Davies is there. Can he get it off the ground? No, Daryl Hewitt does. Well smothered by Kavanagh. It's punched back to Max Eddy. Over the shoulder he goes. A good smother by Spiel. And there's a free kick being picked out. Who will it go to? It's a Sturt defender, Andrew Winter. Decision was for a tackle too high. Andrew Winter in the left back pocket, now drives grandstand side. kick is looking for Reynolds. He's in front and is marked. Handball's off now. Running player in Kavanagh, back to Reynolds. Forward they go. In front of that one was Warner. He couldn't gather it in. Neither can Gary Johns. Now plunges. Off to Veal. Underwood on the left foot. Long they go. Out comes Wilmot. He's up. It's punched away. Now Veal again. He can't gather the ball in. Butler's there doing the work. Brooksby ever reliable. Handball's off to Underwood. He can't get it away. Plunges is there. And another desperate pack has developed. Well, a number of elementary ball handling skills there, but credit where credit's due. There was plenty of pressure.
I agree with you 100%, David, and talking about the skills, I think the standard's been exceptionally high in this game, especially when you look at some areas of the ground. Here's a chance for Walk. Offline, just curled back too far. It's another point to David Walk. Just saying, you look at the ground, David, some very heavy patches around the centre half forward position of both ends, yet the ball skills have been superb.
Yes, they have. Both sides, I think, have put up a good display of ball handling ability. Of course, Brooksby to bring the ball back into play. His brother Graham today played his first game back for the reserves after a knee reconstruction. That's good news for the Panthers. Johns tackled high. The advantage is played to Troy. Now off to Michael Bennett. Forward he goes, looking for Christie. The punch away came from Reed and out of bounds for a throw in. We've played 20 minutes into the third term at Adelaide Oval. 15-4 South Adelaide, 9 goals, 9 Sturt. It's a 31-point advantage to the Panthers. Now Russell, he's displayed good skills today. Smith, Painter, cleverly across the centre half forward. Robert Veal's there, goes goalward. Wilmot's there, attended heavily by Brooksby. No free kick, said the umpire, as Bennett kicks the ball along the boundary line and gains valuable meterage. Good work by Butler then. He could have taken the ball just out of play in the forward pocket. Instead, he paddled it along in front of him, and it's now out of bounds on the half-forward flank.
You have to take your hat off to Phil Brooksby. It's very rarely he gets a bad kicked against him. Wilmot looked dangerous early, but he's only managed 1 goal 3 to this date, or this stage. Players over the top of the ball. Butler in there again. Can't win possession. Very close to the boundary line. Umpire Ross Campbell will throw the ball into the air.
I know I've said it before, Kim, but the umpires have done a fine job in these conditions.
Well, I think their job's helped, David, when the standard of the game's as good as it has been. Play comes back. Now over to David Kapler. Darren Kapler it is. Darren Kapler spears out a pass looking for Max Eddy. Does it well. Paddled it in front of him, then picked it up. Now loses his footing. That looked like holding the ball to me. Play on the call. No, it's not. Umpire Neville Ford picked it up, and that was a good decision. Max Eddy losing his footing at the crucial time. Kick number 10 for Greg Whittlesey. Over the head of Gary Johns. Veal in there. So too is Brett Nonner. Painter off the ground. No kicking in danger. Wilmot couldn't take it. Brooksby tries to punch it towards the boundary line. First to recover is Painter. One way, then the other. Now centres the ball. Looking for Viney. Great mark. John Painter is an exceptionally intelligent footballer. He's pinned on the boundary line, went one way, then the other. Knew he couldn't score from an impossible angle, so he centred the ball, thus allowing Todd Viney to take the brilliant mark that he did. Kick number 11 for Todd Viney. Hasn't scored a goal or a point at this stage, and he's popped that right on the very top of the goalpost. So nothing going right for the Blues at this stage. They're doing all the attacking, but they just can't peg back this lead the Panthers have got.
Todd Viney, quiet today, only 11 kicks. 4 of those coming in the third term, so not a big day for him. Now Rod Campbell, forward he goes for the Panthers. Underneath that one was Christie. Reed is there to do the support work for the Double Blues defence. Forward he goes. Now play on. Viney it was, Butler did the smothering. To Underwood, now Moschini. Centre half forward, he lines up the goals. Could it possibly go through? It's drifting back, and it has. Great goal to the half-back flank, and Moschini drifted down, took the handball off, and from a difficult angle around his body was able to belt through his first goal, and that's Sturt's 10. That takes them to 10 goals, 10, 70 points, trailing South Adelaide, 15 goals, 494.
Well, that was good work by Mark Warner. He got the ball out to Underwood. Underwood over to Moschini. who'd made up plenty of ground to run down from his half-back flank. He's got very good ball skills, and he didn't let his teammates down, so the difference back to 24 points again.
Yes, good work. Backmen often like to kick goals when they can, and Moskeni made every post a winner. Now Johns, off his half-back line he comes. Forward it goes. Andrew Winters there, met heavily. Now Nayley has the run of the ball. If he can gather it in, he can line up the goals. It's off to Davies. The bounce is a difficult one. Has it gone through? It has. A miraculous goal to Mark Nayley. Nobody knew where the ball went. It was tunnel ball for Rick Davies and Frank Spiel. Right through the middle it went. And that's Mark Nayley's first goal. South Adelaide advanced to 16 goals for 100. Sturt 10 goals, 10-70, a clear 30-point lead to the Panthers. Top action on Seven's big lead.
Well, honestly, I don't think Mark Nayley was trying to kick that goal. He tried to hook the ball back round his body to get it to Rick Davies. They got a very favourable bounce. Davies did the body work. And the bottom line for the Panthers was that it was a quick reply. So it's back to 30 points. Great game of football at Adelaide Oval.
Yes, it is, and I'm here to tell you, Kim, Rovers always line up the goals. Forward it goes. Viney was over the top of that one. He couldn't gather it in. Now Kim Russell over the top. Steve Vickler bodies him heavily. Darren Kapler off to David Dickinson. Left foot kicks forward. Mark Nayley's there, but dropping back is Andrew Winter. And has taken a fine mark. Winter, of course, with kick number 5, came into the game today when Neil Craig, with a rib injury, was unable to take his position in the side. Rodney Campbell hit over the ball. It's where he is often. Off to Bennett. Johns. Warren plunges. Plunges goes through centre half forward, plunging the ball deep into attack. Spiel was there, but an infringement has been given against Rick Davies. And Frank Spiel will take the free kick. He's done a good job on Davies. He kicked 3 goals in the first 11 minutes of the third term, Davies. They had to do something with him. Spiel was the move. Out it goes to Reynolds. He's moving his way into this game. It's got better as the game's gone on. Now forward it goes. A big punch away from Gary Johns. He's done a fine job today, Johns, off his back line. Viney's had a shirty day. Moskeni, clever ball skills. Sold the dummy. Forward went the kick. Off now, they're running through half forward. It's Veal. In fact, it's not Veal. It was Chris McGowan. And on the left foot, McGowan has driven it right through the centre. Can the Double Blues come back? They now go to 11 goals, 10, 76 points, trailing the Panthers 16 goals for 100.
And this play was well set up by Moskeni. He sold the dummy beautifully. And this is great play by the youngster in McGowan. Used his pace, charged his arm, he held onto the ball, backed himself in, and kicked a brilliant goal. So this time it's Sturt with a quick reply, and they bring the deficit back to 24 points.
Yes, we've played 2 minutes into time on in the third term. Conditions starting to dry up as the sun comes out at Adelaide Oval. Christie over the top, gets the ball down. Whittlesey has another opportunity of driving forward. Coming out on that one was Plunges. He was grabbed without the ball. Mark Warner was the offending player for the Double Blues, and now Warren Plunges at half-back. He'll waste no time, driving them grandstand side. Long drop punt kick. Out the back was David Kapler. Darren Kapler with a big punch away. Now Dickinson with superb pace. Forward he goes to Steve Vickler. He's found him at centre half forward in front of Peter Reid. Rick Davies is calling for the ball. Back goes Ricko. He's up, arms high. Comes to ground, Spiel. Over the top of that one, Eddie. It gets tapped out to Daryl Hewitt. The ball's been held to him, but the umpire says no, it's holding the ball. I don't know how you saw that, Kim, but I thought the ball was held to him.
Well, once again, I had this huge pylon in front of me that we have here at the grandstand Adelaide Oval, and I couldn't actually see that, but I can assure you that Daryl Hewitt did get pushed in the back a couple of seconds before that incident. Nonetheless, that's history now. The ball's found at the centre half forward area, and the free kick has been awarded to Smith. Smith plays on quickly. His pass went out looking for Veal. He was pressured well by Gary Johns, forcing the ball over the boundary line. 28.5-minute mark of this third quarter. 24-point lead to the Panthers. And there's the sign to end that quarter, setting this game up for a big last quarter. 24-point lead to the Panthers. Action coming to you on 7's Big League. Sorry?